What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Creature Cast, the official Console Creatures podcast, a very special one indeed, because this one is a crossover episode with the lovely gentleman, Corlalon, Matt, from the PlayStation generation. It's okay. So late today. It is so late today.
I am the Matt.
No, because I was immediately going to go Silver Soul. I was like, that's not your last name. And at this point, I'm just grasping at straws. It is so late today. I apologize. I'm such a shitty friend.
It's okay. I'll just sit here and weep for the next
Matt,
however many hours.
You tidied up a tiny smidge.
Yeah. Do you know, like literally 30 seconds before I joined, I just took shit and threw it on the floor because I'm like, if Court gives me shit for my background again, then I'm not going to make it through the night.
Oh, it looks great. It looks
Thank
great.
you.
Messy,
and then we've also got.
I think your background looks like shit, but you look great. How about that?
Thanks, man.
Wow,
I'll take it.
Wow.
No,
and
good.
Dave with his beautiful Christmas tree in the back. Oh my goodness gracious!
Lights and everything.
Yep.
Oh my god!
I mean,
no,
you didn't get the blue light memo. It's kind of awkward.
No,
yeah.
I didn't. I have a
kind of
blue
ball,
blue stuffy there, right?
Oh, the
there. Yoshi, how dare you? It's a Jingo, you son of a.
What is
that?
It
looks like a Yoshi. I'm sorry.
It does look like a Yoshi. What is a Jingu?
Banjo.
Yeah.
See, I know. I know.
You know, and you still got it wrong. God, what am I even doing here?
I don't know.
Throwing this at the camera.
Don't know. You'll probably.
I hope that was worth it.
Oh no.
But no, this is a very special episode. It's our year-end episode. We're going to go over some game of the years, our personal picks, and just have a fun little episode just to close off the year. This will be our final episode. PlayStation generation. You guys also closed out your own respective series for the year. How are we all feeling now that 2024 is coming to a close?
I feel good. I feel like this year we kicked off PlayStation generation. It's been a fun year. Getting our ebbs and flows. We found some fantastic community members that are hanging out with us and watching the shows. And I mean, Court and I think we're pretty good at doing what we do, but obviously we got to give a huge shout out to Rice, who's been
Denny
just a fantastic third chair, and Denny for hopping in over the last couple months. So it's been a fun ride.
Amazing. And Dave, I know this year has been a spectacular one for you, ins and outs and ups and downs. I mean, how are you feeling now that you're back in the seat, back in the saddle for one last episode for the year?
Yeah, I'm exhausted, but for all the right reasons. But yeah,
nicely done.
At a girl. It's been great. It's been a really good last 6 months. The little guy just turned 6 months a couple days ago as of this recording, so it's a whirlwind. Crazy. It is a whirlwind, but he's moving and grooving on the floor, and everything's good, and I still got time to get some games in. So
defenseman or a forward?
What's that?
Do you think he's going to be a defenseman or a forward?
He's pretty beefy, so he's probably going to be, speaking of Boston Bruins, he's probably going to be a little bit of a Cam Neely type of style. That's my guess.
Cam Neely?
Power forward, yeah. Dude, he's huge. He's huge.
Really?
I know, Matt cannot believe it.
Good. I can't believe
it.
Oh my
Cam
goodness.
Neely on in this economy.
In this exact
Could there even be two? Is that possible?
Don't you worry. I'll make it happen.
Dave, I waved to your brother a couple weeks ago. I don't think he saw me.
Is that a euphemism?
Steve told me he was going to the hockey game. I was like, oh my goodness.
He sent me the picture and I go, hey, you've watched more hockey than I have this year. So,
Dave, I'll wave to your brother any day of the week. Buddy.
Oh, will you ever?
Yeah, you will.
You tell me to wave to your brother, I will wave.
No, I love this. This is going to be one heck of a last episode, and to make it all the more special, we did crack open a little Cotty Spring, Cotty Spring action.
Damn it! I should have made something. Now I feel left out.
I don't
There's
have anything.
Still time.
If I had something, I'll pass out. Like I'm too tired.
I'm too sleepy. No, I understand that.
I would love to, but it's not gonna happen.
I'll bring the festive vibes. But no,
have another one for me. Have a second one for me,
and then have a third one for me.
Yeah, have a fifth one for me.
Wow.
So
that's how math
works.
I
didn't tell you. So I went to this holiday party on the Friday.
Okay.
I hadn't drank in like 5 months.
Couple weeks.
No, 5 months.
What are you talking about? I saw you drink.
No, like I mean,
when you were waving to Dave's brother.
No, I'm talking about drink. Like I had a drink because you guys forced me to have one that one night. I'm talking about drink.
Okay.
Uh,
And
I
how much did you drink?
rations, 2 Manhattans, and 2 vodka sodas, and I did not feel well.
And
Ooh,
good night.
then
That's a good night. Who'd you go home with?
Oh, my wife, unfortunately.
Is that before or after you waved to my brother?
during.
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 That's the pro move. It's always during.
Hey, Dave, I met your brother. I didn't even wave to him. I just gave him the look.
Wow, just okay. Well, some of us can skip right past waving, I guess.
Good.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
that's second base.
A little more
Skip
traditional
the
over
line.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is our top 5 games of the year, personal picks. Give a little round table action, go over some of them, our own personal picks, give shout outs to games that had a lasting impact on us this year. And we'll just kind of go through it, have a little fun. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of crossover. So yeah, if anyone picks another one that someone else had picked, just chime in, jump in, and this is going to be a great way to look back at a fantastic year of video games, reflect on it all, and just close out the year on a strong note. And Court, ball's in your court.
Ooh, wow.
With your first pick.
My first pick at number 5 is Pokemon Pocket. Like I can't.
Huge.
I am addicted to this game right now, and it's actually brought me closer to my daughter. So that's huge. So originally, when Steve and Matt even told me that it even existed, and that was like day 2, I was like, I don't know. And then I downloaded it. I started opening packs, and then I opened it on my daughter's, and then I got my wife to make an account. So we have 3 accounts going. So we're just ripping packs every morning. And then I gave her the premium pass and linked it to my Nintendo account for her, and just like the joy she gets every day of opening her 1 pack in the morning, 1 pack at the end of the day, plus her premium bonus pack. And she knows everything that's going on.
Well, you're still on that premium.
Oh yeah. For her. Oh, 100%.
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
Yeah.
But I've had so much fun, and I truly appreciate it because it has brought a lot of people together, and it's taught me how to play the damn game for the first time ever. Like I actually can do a battle and no longer have to put it on auto, so now my daughter actually looks at her cards a little bit differently. Like she's loved Pokemon, but she's really just liked it for, Eevee and Pikachu. But now she's like, she's getting certain cards and she's like, oh, this is a good one. She's like, see the health on this one, see what we can do. I was like, oh yeah. So she's really
the nuance of what it actually means to have the differences.
Yeah, exactly. Like I actually understand this stuff now.
Yeah, way more than I did as a kid, where I was like, this just looks like a cool card. That's sick.
And what I will say is that like it's not exactly the way that the game plays, but they made it work well enough that like on mobile, it's snappy, it's fun, it still is what the game is just a simplified version of it, which I think if they had gone in the direction of making like the full-fledged CCG, the games would have been like 30 minutes long, which doesn't work. So having like a simplified on the go version is fantastic. Look at
live
Steve
pack opening. I think I got one too. Hold on.
Okay, hold on. I'll jump in.
Yeah. Everyone get in here. Dave,
download it. Make an account.
I played it for about 4 days. So
Dave,
yeah,
that's so disappointing.
Dave,
I'm here to disappoint.
Steve.
I'm here to disappoint.
Two news.
Ooh, I saw a new thing pop up.
Yeah, I got 2 news, but no Celebi.
Sure.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
What we got here, guys.
Get in frame.
Unless
there.
it's from the first gen.
Ooh, Vaporeon, nice.
Vaporeon.
Ooh, lots of stars.
Okay.
Primate. Ponyta, Steve. Ponyta buddies. Oh, 2 Vaporeons.
2 Eevee evolutions? What?
2 of the same.
2 vapes.
Jeez.
That's nice. 2
vapes.
vapes. Yo, vape it up,
Yo,
bro.
Vape it up, bro.
All right, hold it up to the camera. We gotta see. Okay, hold it up closer. I can't see.
Yeah, bring it in.
This is great content for the audio listeners. This is amazing.
Content.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Ooh, a new one. Yep.
A nice new.
Pidgey?
My buddy. Pidgey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that one.
Okay.
And the one I got.
We got the exact same pack almost there.
There you go. I will say my buddy got a God pack the other day, and I hate him forever.
So I showed Emma one today on YouTube Shorts, and she's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Oh, this is what's called a God pack." And she's like,
"So what is that?"
So,
I don't.
It's like all 5 cards are like
top tier.
Oh, it's
like EXs, like alt arts, like
I showed her all the packs that Riley gets all the time. and I showed her this morning, and she's like, it's not fair. I'm like, oh, don't worry, we hate him.
He has to be like an early investor or something for that game because I don't understand it.
I feel like Big Nintendo is just greasing Walmart's wheels here.
It has to be. It has to be. But honestly, go on. Yeah,
the game is amazing. The interface is great. They make it easy to use, and I don't feel like there's a lot of gotcha mechanics in there at all. Like, I don't feel like they're really trying to make you spend money. Like, you can if you want, but it's not like it's right in front of you. So I think, well done. Like, it's smart. It gets me more into Pokemon. Like, she doesn't know this, but I got her a brand new box. So
hell yeah.
Say louder.
Why would I say?
No, I'm saying legitimately say it louder so you wake her up.
live open that box now.
Yeah, there you go. Just like tape it back together for Christmas Eve. I will say the magic did kind of die on me a little bit when I realized that none of it matters. Like everything is predetermined for you the minute like you start. Like Wonder Picks predetermined. The card packs predetermined.
Wonder Picks are predetermined.
Everything's fabricated.
You can literally pick any of it. And like when I realized that, part of me died a little bit. It's like when figuring out that Santa was actually real and not real.
Right. Of course.
Wait, what? Huh?
Dave gets it. But no. Despite that, it's a lot of fun, and I'm so suckered in. Like I'm so zoned in. Every day I'm like, oh, back. Let's go.
I wish I could join in on the Joy Boys, but I'm happy that you're happy. How about
Joy Boys? Speaking of Joy Boy,
look at this Joy Boy over here.
Hey, I picked a mobile game for God's sakes.
Hey, good for you, dude. Good for you.
God. And a Nintendo game at that.
Matt, would you have it on your list?
No.
Okay. Me neither. But in all honesty, that's just because I'm petty and and luck is not in my favor with the game. That's the only reason why.
I do like the game. I just think that like for me, there's just been so many incredible experiences this year that like I can put it at 16 if we really want to get into it, but there's just been too many quality titles that mean a lot to me.
That's fair. Speaking of quality titles that mean a lot to you, Matt, why don't you go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. Okay, hold on.
Wasn't Bobby here like 2 seconds ago?
He was, and then he left.
He came and went. He's like, you know what? You're talking Pokemon. I'm out of here.
He's like,
he had no audio.
I mean, he'll be proud of me. I did start playing Visions of Mana today, so.
He's like, oh, I have to go actually open up a pack, and he went to do that instead. My number 5 is a little game. Perhaps some of you may have heard of it. Perhaps some of you may have played it earlier this year. Perhaps some of you should have waited until it come into pro. Perhaps I'm going to keep doing this just to get on Court's nerves. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my number 5 this year.
Okay.
I adore that game. Coming into it, I was just expecting more of what made Remake special. And I think even if they had done just that, it would have still made my top 5. But the fact that they went in as hard as they did, how different each biome is, how explorable it is, how many mini games and different things there are to do in this game, varying quality for sure. But like still, there's a ton of things to engage with this game. It is gorgeous. It is just full of emotion. I loved a lot of the characters. I loved the new characters that they add. There's just so much happening in this game, and for them to take an established IP, like, and a beloved classic and make it into something arguably new all over again. There's so much attention to detail. There's so much love put into this game. I can't wait for the final chapter, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth hit in every way that I wanted it to and more. And that's why it's number 5 on my list.
Unreal. Love that.
Question
Bobby.
for you, Matt, from the press pool. Is there like an extremely long boss battle in this game?
There are multiple, Court.
They're so long.
It's a JRPG. It's par for the course.
Did that just break you, Court? Were you about to play it?
Speaking of broken, like you're speaking yet your screen isn't moving, so
it's okay. We'll fix itself out. That's Talk Studio, baby. This is how the sausage is made. Yeah, Bobby, how are you doing?
I don't know what I just walked into, so yeah, I'm not.
My number 5 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's what you walked into.
Well, that I knew, but it's the rest I'm worried about.
And you should be.
Bobby, do you have any comments about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
I have an encyclopedia.
Amazing. Hit me.
27 hours to
we don't. We really don't.
Okay, Court, we're just gonna go. Me and Court are just gonna go take a nap. Hang on.
Seriously.
What do you mean take a nap? It's your bedtime. It's already.
It's my bedtime in.
It is very
almost
close
40
to my
minutes, yeah.
bedtime. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
Wow.
It should be my bedtime, but I make irresponsible decisions and then complain about it later.
Yep.
Love that for
Hey,
you.
That's tomorrow's problem, right?
Mhm.
So,
I gotta leave the house at 6 a.m.
ooh, that's actually pretty good.
It's an early way for Dave's brother, but we'll ride.
That's all right. That's okay. Just gonna.
Bobby, are you?
What?
Why don't you say something about Final Fantasy VII before we get this train moving?
Just go play it and stop talking, everyone. That's all I gotta say. Just go play it. Like,
All right.
that's all you need to know. It's on sale right now. You go play it and you come back when you're done, and that's it. Listen to our podcast, listen to our review
That
cast,
first.
read the reviews, and that's it. Just be ready, be loaded.
I have a
Wonderful.
distinct
Loaded.
feeling this is coming up later, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it might. I feel like Bobby might have more to say later on the list.
But why not just say it now? It's just my point. Just say it now.
Just talk about your game of the year, Bobby. Just skip to number 1.
Yeah,
How do you know it's my game of the year?
because
I have no doubt in my mind that's your game of the year.
Really?
It is my game of the year.
Yeah, like not a doubt in my mind.
It was pretty close. It was a neck and neck tie between Metaphor, Refantazio, and this.
Oh, we got a sneak peek at 2 and 1.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, 2 and 1.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
no, you're
No,
so
there's no-
predictable.
I mean, in a year of predictable games, I mean, you got to pick the golden chocobo, the one that's gonna win, and that's FF7
It
Rebirth.
definitely was a Matt and Bobby year for video games.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
No, it's a year for everybody. It's just the fact
Yeah.
that a lot of you don't have good taste in games, and stick to try.
Wow.
Try it
It's
and
our
true
problem. It's our problem, Court. It's not theirs.
I know.
It's our
Bobby's
fault.
so stubborn.
Court, you were literally just playing Division. You have
Division
no
2, not Division 1. I can say whatever I
dare
want. I
you.
love the game.
Hold on, not Division 1. Let's not be
Oh
ridiculous.
no,
You
no,
guys are
not
so
the game that came out
smudgy,
9
Bobby.
years ago.
Like,
The game
I've
that came
never
out
seen
7 years
some
ago.
people that are
You're not even
so
playing the
elitist
good
about their video
division,
games.
so that's the
It's
thing. That
hilarious.
just chaps
Yeah,
my
Bears.
Heartland.
You're not even playing the good division. It's Division 1 is better than Division 2.
Okay, whatever. That's your opinion.
I mean, that's not my opinion. The numbers say it
Oh,
itself.
Jesus.
I mean,
As long
Washington
as
was
you're
a
having
boring,
fun, Court. As long as
boring
you're having
environment.
fun.
New
Dave,
York
what's
was a better-
Dave? What's your number 5?
I have
What's
zero
my number
patience,
5?
Okay, like zero patience.
I will tell you right now, it has nothing to do with a fantasy. It has nothing to do with numbers. There's no Roman numerals. There's no rebirthing in a way. This is a bit of a recency bias pick, and I'm not even done it yet. But I love it so much because Indiana Jones is charming as shit. I fall in love with Indiana Jones all over again every time I watch at least the original 3 movies. This game was kind of, I was worried the first person stuff wasn't going to work for me, and it's still not perfect. I still probably would prefer if this was a third person game. It's just my I don't know what I'm into at this point.
Sure.
But it is a great game. I think they've done a great job of making Indiana Jones exciting and told a really good story so far. It just feels like those original 3 movies, especially, and that's hard to do because to me, all 3 of those are stone cold classics, and Matt knows that for sure. I know. So it's a great game, and I'm not even done it yet. Unless they really fall on their face in the last couple of hours, I have no doubt that this will stay at this point in my list. So yeah, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a fantastic game. It surprised me a little bit because I was a little bit worried about the whole first person thing, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm about, based on what I've read and heard and stuff, I'm probably like 3/4 of the way through it. So it's great.
Yes, Matt.
It's fantastic.
Matt from the press pool. Question for you, Dave. Someone who's never seen the movies, would it surprise me too?
I think you'll be okay. I think there's callbacks and references and stuff, but I think for the most part you'll be
What do you
fine.
mean you think? It starts with the biggest callback of all time.
Yes, but I don't know.
So
but that's also a scene that everybody probably would recognize.
Let's roll back the
I
tape
think.
a little bit. Matt, you got to watch the movies before
Well,
you
yes.
even. No,
Yes.
you have to watch the movies because like that's a blasphemous thing you're doing right now.
I've seen the best one with Shia LaBeouf.
Oh
Man. Oh god.
What
No.
a troll move. What a troll move.
It's not the best one.
Well,
it's the second best
by
one.
de
of the
facto,
new
it's the
ones.
only one I've seen. So for me, it is the best one.
You
There
have
you
to
go.
watch the first 3.
I can't wait
Did you-
to play it on PlayStation. What? It comes out this fall or spring?
No,
We're
I
in
think I
fall
said-
court.
I'm sorry.
I think they said
We're
the
in
first.
winter. Actually,
I think they said the first half of the year.
I think
Hopefully
it. Yeah,
first
I think it's May.
25.
It's
Could
6
have
months
been
from now.
May.
I would. It'll be worth the wait, especially if you're a fan of the movies and just the
Big fan.
character in general. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fun. Those movies are comic books, right? Like they're just
So
just.
Dave,
Now you're talking to me. Now
Dave,
you're
one,
speaking
2,
my
or 3?
language.
What's that?
1, 2, or 3?
Oh, 3. Sean Connery all the way.
Yeah,
100%.
That's the best. The Search for the Holy Grail is
100%.
the best by far.
It's the most fun. It's essentially a comedy. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's the best one.
You chose wisely, Dave. You chose.
Thank you. I do my best. As long as I make you happy,
wisely.
that's what I'm here for. So, mission accomplished. The rest of my list does not matter. Court's happy. So,
There you
There
go.
you go.
I
There
still
you
haven't played it. I can't wait to play it. I'm
I'm-
very excited to play that game.
I'm gonna go next just because I echo a lot of what
Hold
Dave
on,
just
Steve,
said. No,
Steve,
please.
what's your number 5 for the year?
Oh well, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
It's actually Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Hey.
For almost the exact same reasons that Dave is saying. I mean, I put it tentatively speaking as number 5 because I'm still very early on in the game. But like Dave, you even said it. Like unless they just fumble the ball within the back half, I'm having a blast with this. Like it. The storytelling, the cinematics, the performances. Troy Baker is like as Indiana
He
Jones
sounds
is
like Harrison Ford in that
oh
game.
man,
it's mental. Like you can
Yeah.
just close your eyes and you're like, okay, this is Harrison, and then like you're brought back to reality of like, oh no, it's really not. I was again trepidatious of like, oh, being first person in an Indiana Jones. Why would they do that? I totally get it because it fulfills like that hero fantasy of like you're in the puzzles, you're grabbing the artifacts, you're moving things with your hands and everything. And then as soon as traversal, like actual traversal climbing and stuff, obviously it goes to third person. I think that's a very good
So
mix.
it does go to third person.
When you're swinging and climbing, yes.
yeah,
And
and it does it pretty seamlessly too. It's not like it
Totally.
feels weird or
No.
whatever. It's just there's certain actions that it just does that, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. We get to see him swing with his whip across
Of course.
chasm or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah,
And I love it. Like it almost does it fluidly where like you'll look up, you'll press the button, you'll do the whip, and then it will just like pull back out of his body. You watch him swing, and then it just like seamlessly goes back through. And I think they do it like a very well executed way. But yeah, I'm engrossed in this story. I think it is that classic Indiana Jones, the music there, the mystery of it all, just having little tidbits and everything to expand like the greater universe. I think if you put this like slot it into its position within the canon, I think this not only complements other movies, but I think it has a rightful place within the canon. And this is just my number 5. I'm just having an
When does it
absolute
take
blast
place?
with it. In between 2 and 3.
In between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's like one. No. Temple of Doom's a prequel, so it takes place after.
One and
Yes.
done.
Yes, you
after
are
the first one.
correct.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It
Yeah.
takes place a year after the first one.
Yeah.
Takes place a year after. Yeah, so
Yeah.
1937 or 38 it says at the beginning. Yeah. So
Yeah. But yeah,
it's
great
really good.
game. Great
great.
game all around, and more people should play it. Also, I will say that on Xbox Series X, this is the most one of the most gorgeous games I've ever played on console.
Yeah.
Like, it
Ooh, okay.
blows my mind.
I got it turned up pretty high on PC. I just got Game Pass PC and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think everything's on full, but it runs great. It looks great. I've had zero issues with it. It's been awesome.
Love that. Love that.
Court, just think about how much better it'll look on play on PS5 Pro with the DualSense.
I know it'll be amazing. Honestly, I'm a little bit excited about it.
Yeah, the
Bobby, what's
DualSense
your number
makes
5?
it look better, right?
My number 5 is Indiana Jones.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
perfect.
Oh,
Let's just
shit.
roll right into it.
That's
Yeah.
number
What are your
5.
thoughts?
So, I mean, I've played it 3 times since
Whoa.
what is it now? Like 3 weeks. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's probably one of the best games this year. No, it is one of the best games this year. I mean, we all know Troy Baker's performance is incredible. We've all spoken that, but like it reminds me of Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay.
Yes.
If you've never played that, your gamer creds out the door. Like you gotta play that. You gotta correct that wrong. But it's just like an upgraded version of Butcher Bay, and like it feels so good. Just moving between the 3 different open worlds, the hubs, finding all the different puzzles. doing all the discoveries, beating up fascists and Nazis is like the best thing you could ask for in 2024. So I've been doing that nonstop, just going around punching people in the face and then, throwing them down. And it's been incredible.
Amazing.
But overall, it's a great game. I honestly would have probably ranked it higher on my list, but I had a couple game-breaking glitches during my preview, which I basically had to restart the game 3 or 4 times. But that didn't deter me at all. It is such a great game. There is so many cool callbacks to the movies. There's a bunch of teasers that are just like, if you know the movies, you know what you're looking for.
Are we going to get another game from it?
No. It's just the way it ties into the movies. Like it hints at stuff and it connects to them in ways that people are surprised. I would feel like they're surprised about. And the music's incredible. Like it feels like it's ripped right out of the movies. Like no one's talking about the soundtrack, but the soundtrack is incredible. Like it's on Spotify. I've been listening to it for the past couple of days. It's so good. I have nothing bad to say about this game. It is perfect almost. It's like a straight 9 out of 10. There's very few things wrong with it. Steve says it's gorgeous on console. It is stunning. And if you have a proper TV, like it's elevated, especially with, an OLED and the new update that launched today. There's like a whole bunch of new lighting changes. So I'm going to go back and check those out today. But yeah, there's not much else I have to say about it. If you've read our review or watched our video, it's on Game Pass. Go play it. Like there's really nothing stopping you. It's free on Game Pass if you're subscribed.
I stopped paying for Game Pass when the little guy was born. I haven't had it for 6 months, and this is the game that got me to start again. So
there you go.
Like that, it's just like I said. One of the first things I said was it has that Indiana Jones charm. It nails it, and that's important because without that, it doesn't really matter. It does matter, but it doesn't really matter to me what the gameplay was like if it doesn't nail that indie charm.
Gameplay
and it has
perfect. Like they nailed the gameplay.
It's good. It's really good.
I'm happy there's not a need for guns. Like you obviously have a couple sections where you have to use guns, but I like
maybe a handful of times, and I am.
There's a couple later on you have to use guns, and
I've had
it's
those already. But that's it. Yeah.
I like the whip. The whip is incredible. I love the punching. I love all the perks you can buy from the books. Like I love that stuff. It's great.
It's a cool way to do it. I like how they did that. I like that.
Yeah, like it's great. Like it adds so much charm to it, and it really is the perfect game to close out the year. Like it's got everything you would want. It's not long. It's deep enough where you can invest a week into it, and then you'll play it again because there's just so much left over to do after. Like there's just so many hidden secrets that you have to find. Like I'm still finding hidden walls in temples and like some of the pyramids where you're finding walls that have cracks in them. You can knock them over.
Yep. There's
just so much to do. But yeah, I mean, they not only did they nail the tone, they nailed every aspect. Like we said, from the music to the Troy Baker got into the mindset of Harrison Ford in those games. Like he said, like he just stopped trying to imitate Harrison Ford, and he was like, what would Indiana do? And he nailed it. But yeah, overall, like I feel like I'm gonna probably buy it when it comes to PlayStation. Like I want a sequel as soon as possible. Like
Machine. You want that platinum?
No, I'm not doing the platinum. I don't.
The platinum's a little grindy.
Oh, it's hard.
It's not hard. It's just it's gonna take a long time.
It's grindy. You got to do everything, and it's just like I don't care for that stuff. Like I did what I wanted, and I'm good.
Yeah,
but yeah, great game. I'm excited for more people to play it. I know the numbers are pretty good from what I'm seeing online, and like that's good for everybody.
Court, what's your number 4?
Number 4, Prince of Persia.
Nice.
That game, I like.
Which one?
That's a great. Yeah,
Lost
that's a
Crown.
great question.
I never played the one on PC.
Well, which one are you talking about?
Lost Crown.
That's what you got to say.
That's what I said.
No, you said Prince of Persia.
No, and then I said
we're being finaglers here because we gotta hear.
I know you are, Bobby. I really love the game. It surprised me. It wasn't something that I was very interested in at all.
Sure.
Even when I saw it, I was like, this is definitely not a me game. But I had a lot of fun with it. Like I really, really enjoyed it. That was a very good game. It was difficult, but it wasn't too difficult. It didn't beat me over the head. The art direction they did in that game was phenomenal. The puzzles were great, challenging, and the story was really good too.
Yeah. Did anyone else have Prince of Persia on their list?
No.
It's one I meant to play this year. I don't know. I haven't been feeling very Metroidvania, but like as soon as I am, like that's exactly what I'm going to be going to because it looks fantastic. It looks very much like a me game. I booted it up for like a couple minutes and I was like, I'm just not in the mood for this type of game.
You have
right
to
now.
you have to be in the mood for something like that, right?
But I mean, by all accounts, it looks fantastic. So I'm excited to get around to it next year.
Yeah, this was until I don't know, until the summer, like probably halfway through this year. This was my number one.
Nice.
This game's incredible. I love it. It's my number 3. So this is my 3.
Yeah. Please.
I loved this game. Steve, we talked about it when we reviewed it in January or February, whatever. I guess it was January.
I think so.
January,
the first game that I played pretty much this year and reviewed. And man, it is just so good. I was just so excited to dig into it and see what they had. I got hands on with like the preview build or something like that, I think in like late December or early January. And then the game just expanded on that. It was just so good. I could not put this down. I just kept on going, got as many of the unlockables and traversal areas that I could get to. And I just, I've thought about it multiple times this year. I just haven't had the time to go back to it, but it's one of those games that I would play again for sure. The combat's great. The exploration's rewarding. I do think that the story was pretty cool too. There's some twists and turns in it that I didn't really expect from a game like this, and it's a really cool version of Prince of Persia. It's awesome. I absolutely loved it. So it's 3 on my list pretty securely.
Amazing. It's number 4 on my list, and just for the same reason you guys are talking about it. I mean, it was an early game of the year contender coming into this year. Playing it right off the hop, I was like, oh, this is so my game. Not only because it's a Prince of Persia game, but because it's a well-crafted and evolved Metroidvania. I didn't really know that a team at Ubisoft had it in them to make such a well-crafted Metroidvania, with like just elevating the entire thing, like using the shards to kind of like put memories across the map so you can remember where treasures and puzzles were to come back to. I thought that was an ingenious way to kind of elevate the series. And then it had a gorgeous art style, kind of gleaming onto like the anime art style and stuff like that. But yeah, I just had an absolute blast with it. I never went back for any of the DLCs or updates and stuff like that. I got my 1000 gamer score out of it and walked away. I was like, I'm happy after running into some glitched achievements. I was like, oof, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I think I got them all. I think I went back after some updates and stuff like that, after some patches. But after
I think
that,
the patch, I think you said the patch fixed it like on like the 1.0 release. We were playing the pre-build, I think. So.
Something happened and I had to go back, and finally I think I mopped it all up. But yeah, it's a great game, and I'm upset that Ubisoft didn't see the return value of this game, and then kind of brought the team and kind of pivoted towards, I think a lot of it is now leaning towards like a Rayman game, which I'm stoked for, but I really wish that we got more out of this specific character, this universe, because I thought they had something really special on their hands.
Yeah, well, this team did make the best Rayman game of all time.
Rayman Legends.
So, Legends. It's one of the best. One of the best platformers ever made. So if they're going to go back to something like that, I'm happy with that. But this game was fantastic, and I agree. I do hope that they do at least someone comes back to something like this. But like we mentioned briefly, at least there is another Prince of Persia out there that will be 1.0 sometime next year. It seems like so.
Yep.
Anyways.
Amazing. Matt, how about your number 4?
My number 4 is 1000 Exorcist. I feel like on any other year, this could have easily been my game of the year or easily cracked my top 3. But the 3 games ahead of it, honestly, any one of them could be one on any given day. So 1000 Exorcist is easily my indie game of the year. It is incredible. It is unlike anything I think I've ever played. Part visual novel, part like adventure game. It's dark. It's weird. You're not exactly sure what's going on for a lot of different parts in it. But as everything starts to coalesce and the emotion starts to come through and the story is just incredible, the way that it touches on a wealth of like very seemingly disparate topics with like, being a new immigrant in a country, the Hong Kong riots, they're like, mental health and so much more, and does it all with the grace, and an emotional maturity, which is kind of rare to find in games. more and more so we're seeing that, but 1,000 X Resist is just in a league of its own at this point in time. The art style is also incredible. Like some of those screenshots that I took through my playthrough, I would honestly like print and get framed and put on my wall. Like it is gorgeous. It is unlike anything I played this year. It is a game that probably will sit in my top 10 of all time for quite some time. It is a game that, while I don't think everyone will enjoy, I think the people that do resonate with it will do so on a massive scale. There is something here, and from a debut Canadian developer, it's just incredible what they managed to do here. I will say, probably along with Sonic X Shadow Generations, the worst hubs I've ever I've played in this year. They've added a map and stuff since I played it, which will make things better, but there's just something so incredibly special and generational about 1,000 X Resist that I feel like if you're at all curious, like the game kicks off with you as the watcher from like this like sisterhood of like an after the planet's ended and there's aliens about, killing the All Mother, which reigns on your area, and then everything that falls out from that is just incredible. So 1,000 X Resist is so incredibly good that I think anybody should try it. While it might not resonate with everybody, the people that do, you'll find a new, top 10 or top 5 or even top 1 game of all time here for yourself. It's truly special.
That's awesome. Anyone else have 1,000 X Resist?
No, I played it, but no, it didn't resonate as much as it did with a lot of people. It's a good game. You should definitely play it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a backlog game for me. I really hope to get around to it during the holidays because I've heard nothing. Well, mainly from you, Matt, but a lot of great things. Yeah. Bobby, how about you? What's your number 4?
Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door.
Ooh.
So, I mean, it's granted it's a remake. We all know that it's a 20-year-old based on a 20-year-old game, but I mean, Nintendo did a really good job with this remake. It is thoroughly just a remake, so there's no new added content, but graphically it looks incredible on the Switch OLED. I mean, the attention to detail is there. Like you can see, like Nintendo really went back and redid all the environments, made them a lot more colorful, added a lot more. I don't want to say just like volume, but like there is more there. Like it's not just as barren as it was on the GameCube. But I mean, for what it is, it's a great remake. I mean, the combat's still the same. Like you're timing your strikes to do maximum damage by pressing A at the right time. And then why this game is so beloved is just it's a mix of the party, the music, the story. It's really rare that Nintendo gives Mario a canvas with a story, and like this one is one of those ones where he's not only having to save the princess, but like he's going to this new world and he's exploring, he's meeting all these people, and like he's working with them to save this town. And like it's a simple game from a simpler time, and that's why it's stuck with me for the last 20 years. And like if you haven't played this game in any capacity, like now is the time. It's on sale, I think, for $54 at Walmart and Best Buy and Amazon. And with no tax, like you really have no reason not to play this game. Like it's a masterpiece, and I know that Dave will agree with me on this.
Yeah, I should play this game. I know I'm gonna like it.
Dave, this is a Dave ass game, and you.
I know it. I know it is, man. I know.
Like it's legitimately what you were born to play.
Like I think I said this sometime last year. Last year was an ridiculously amazing year for games, and I played Paper Mario, the first Paper Mario from 64 for the first time all the way through, and that was one of the best games I played last year. I know this is an expansion on that in a lot of ways, and that the new version of this is obviously really great, but
better humor, better everything's better.
Yeah, so I know I'm gonna like this. I know.
Yeah,
I just need to.
There's not much you need to say about it. Like it is an old time Nintendo game. Like you have not played this game. Like it's something you should put on your radar. You never have a bad time with a Mario game, and much to the chagrin of to everyone here, this is a really really iconic game in this series. And like sometimes I know it's 2024. It's good to. I count remakes as worthwhile, top games. Like it is something you should really consider playing. And I'm not saying that for every game. It's just this one is one of those ones you should consider putting on your list. It's got everything you want from a game. Like it's short. it's funny. It's reactive to what you're doing. Like you have to pay attention to what you're playing. It's not just like a button masher. You got to think about some of the puzzles you're doing. Like you have to just, pay attention to what you're doing. Like that's rare in a lot of games these days, because I can count on my hand. Like I've played games where I can be watching something and playing with my one control, like my hand. Sorry, I can't talk right now. It's late. It's 9:00. I can play with one hand on the controller and just breeze through a game. Whereas this one, like you have to pay attention, learn your timings, do all that, and like just go get it. It's worth the $50, whatever it is today.
This might be one I go pick up, because it's one that like I was really excited about, because I've always wanted to play the original, never got around to it, and I kept forgetting about it over the course of this year. But maybe it's time, because I've heard nothing.
It's time. Like honestly, it's like 35-40 hours, but like it breezes through. Like you're never stuck in one place. Like you go into the town, you're figuring out where to go next, and then you just go there. And it's a lot, like I said, it's more streamlined because the remake, got rid of a lot of the backtracking, because there was a lot of backtracking in the original. Like there was times where you'd have to go to a certain spot, talk to somebody, and then walk all the way back. Now there's warp pipes to get you there in the third, quarter of the time. Like it's more modernized, but it's still as charming as it was 20 years ago.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Court, what's your number 3?
Sorry. My number 3 is Dragon Age Veilguard.
Ooh.
I can't, I really like that game. I'm 2 trophies away from the platinum, and I'm like, do I go back and get it? Like one of them is like a little grindy to go get. I'm like, yeah.
Is that the Memories one?
Yeah, it's Memories I got. It's the leveling up all the characters to do. Don't I have to level up all the whole? I'd have to look at the list. I'm 2 trophies away, but I did every single side mission. I did have my issues with the side missions. I know I spoke to you and Riley about it the one night. I don't need to get into, specifics, but I just thought some of the side missions were absolutely pointless. The dialogue for them was absolutely pointless as well. It actually made me get annoyed by some of the characters, but I thought that it had a lot of throwbacks to the Dragon Age series. I thought that the actual story of the game was great. I thought the combat was good. I liked the fact that the boss battles weren't extremely long, but they were good. They were challenging. Like the dragon fights were very good. The cutscenes were great. Playing on the PS5 Pro, the game looked unbelievable. Like it looked beautiful on that console. I've tried on the regular PS5 up in my office, and I played it on the one down below, and I said to Matt, I'm like, I can't go back. Like this was the game that was like, I can't play this any other way. It was so smooth. I just thought they did a very good job, and it was a game that I was a little apprehensive about before. And I know Bobby who got to see the game before, and he's telling me about it. And I was like, as a Dragon Age fan, I was a little worried that I wasn't going to like this game, and I really liked it. Like it's one of my favorite games this year. Like it's so
That's
good.
awesome.
I'd recommend it to anybody who likes the Dragon Age series.
That's great. Anyone else have Dragon Age on their list?
Nope, I gotta start playing it soon.
No, but it's very good. I'm surprised by it too. I'm an so Dragon Age fan. Like I kind of like it, but I don't love it. But this game's been great. It's been really good. I've been mixing my time on my PC down here, but more frequently, and it looks great there too. If you got the settings pulled up as well, but it plays well on Steam Deck. It just doesn't look as great because you really have to turn the graphics and everything down quite a bit, but it still plays really well. Regardless, it eats the battery, eats it. Like you can play for just over an hour, and then the thing's like, I'm gonna die, and it gets all hot and heavy, and I'm like, what? So, but it's a fun game. Anyways, it's fun.
Nice. I liked it as well. I wrapped up my time with it a couple weeks ago and had a fun time with it. It took a little while to get accustomed to all the characters and stuff like that. But I think the second half of that game is super, super strong and worthwhile.
Yeah, it doesn't put its best foot forward. I think
no, it takes a while to. Yeah. Matt, you're number 3.
My number 3. Will shock people that it's not my number 1, but Astrobot's my number 3.
My man.
And again, my top 3 are pretty much all
interchangeable.
I already
knew your top 3. They're not a shock at all.
Yeah, but it's whatever.
My
top 3 could pretty much all be slotted into number 1 on any given day. But Astrobot is everything gaming should be today. It is full of joy. Every pixel is just colorful and in your face. Every detail on screen is designed to make you feel happy and to have you enjoy the experience. The levels are incredibly designed, a good mix of some super challenging stuff and just a lot of fun along the way. The way that they really showcase honor PlayStation's history is constantly fantastic, along with just giving those levels where you take on iconic PlayStation characters and they basically give you a Astrobot version of that space is fantastic. I went into this knowing I was going to like it. I loved Rescue Mission on PSVR 1. I loved Playroom. But I think even I was surprised coming off of those games, the level that Team Asobi was able to kind of ascend to with Astrobot. This is genuinely, in my mind, as good as most 3D Mario. And I feel like if they can continue this, they will have actual competition in the 3D platforming space. I think this game is absolutely fantastic. It won GOTY, 100% deservedly so. And it's a smaller team from a smaller team at a discounted price. It is absolutely fantastic, and everyone owes themselves an opportunity to go play this game. I think it will surprise you, because even if you're not a platforming fan, there's so much here to fall in love with.
Mm-hmm.
I will also step in here because it is my number 3 as well. High five. And I agree with you, Matt, completely. I knew I was going to like this game. Obviously, I love Astro's Playroom. That was just such a delight, but I wasn't prepared for how much I was going to like Astro Bot as the game, because I obviously you have some sort of like preconceived notion that, yeah, they're going to fully develop what this game could be, the full potential of this 3D platformer, but I wasn't prepared for how the nostalgia was going to hit me, how seeing all these different characters intertwined in this game was going to hit me, the 30 years of PlayStation all, baked into one little product. It's such an accomplishment for such a small team, I think. And the fact that every kind of level was different, every kind of level had its own unique flair, and you can go through it, and the first time around, it feels like, oh, I'm spending maybe 10, 15 minutes in each level. And then you realize, like, that's only because you're taking it all in for the very first time, and that they're all still relatively small with their own unique hooks. Like the fact that you can go in and have a spooky Halloween one level, you have a different one where you shrink down into like a mouse size, another, like, everyone has their own probably favorite level in the game or favorite challenge level, and it's all different, and it's all warranted, I think, because every single level is just a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Like, I don't think there was a single moment in that game that I was like, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be doing this. In fact, by the time I got to the last like galaxy, I was like, I'm almost done. I almost have all the characters. I almost have all the puzzles. And granted, thankfully, bless Team Asobi, they've been adding more content. I mean, like, we finally got Spider-Man. Like, the fact we got Spider-Man and Miles Morales in this game is such a blessing. But it really did like give me like a sinking feeling when credits started rolling. I was like, damn, it's over. Like, I don't really have that feeling with the games that often. In fact, I probably have the opposite feeling. I'm like, it's over, thank God. Like I've spent so much time investing in this game, but this one I was like, man, I just wish I could hold on to this like a lightning bug in a glass or something. And yeah, I think this is just such a special game. And yeah, I hope that they continue. I hope that they find a cool little way to outcharm itself. I think that's going to be a huge challenge, but for what this is, I think that this is one of the best games of the year, and one of the best platformers I've ever played in my life.
And I have to say, like, the PSVR time freezing mechanic, those levels, like, my jaw dropped the first time that happened. I was like, oh wait, you want me to jump across that thing? I was going to try anyway, but that's the thing you want me to do. There were so many moments like that across the entire game that it's just so special.
Super special. Yeah. Anyone else have Astrobot on their list in any capacity? Yeah. Okay, Court, please.
And for me, as I said on PlayStation Generation, this was the first game that I played from start to finish with my daughter. I didn't play any part by myself. We played every level together. We switched as we lost lives or if she would get really frustrated. But this was the game that she fell in love with, the original on the PS5. Oh, you know, it was baked into the console, but Astrobot, like this game, we played it so much. When we got the code from PlayStation, I sat down and started playing this, and then she was like, "Can I play?" And then it went from there, and like I couldn't play it without her. She'd be pissed because she wanted to see every level. Like we just played the Christmas level the other day, and she thought this was the greatest thing in the world. Like she was blown away. She was trying some of the trial levels, and she was getting destroyed, but she was still trying them. It was just so good to see it from her eyes and see her enjoy something that, I know it sounds corny, but something that I enjoy as well, which is video games and something we can share. And now it's like her favorite platformer. We grew up with Mario. She likes Mario. She likes Mario Odyssey, but like she still plays Astrobot. She played it today. Like whenever she turns on the PlayStation 5, she's like, oh, she'll just go play a level. And she really enjoys this game. And that's why it's my favorite game this year, like by far. 2 of my games on my list is because of my daughter.
That's cool. I like that for you.
Hell
Bobby,
yeah.
Dave?
It's not on my list, but I did love it.
It's not on my list, but I didn't love it because I didn't play it. So
you'll love it though.
I would
You will love
You
it.
would like it.
I know I will. This is again, this even more so than the Mario game. I think this is going to be my shit. Like I'm it's going to be one of those games where I'm like, okay, I got the feel of how this works, the mechanics, the sort of the way everything works here, and I'm going to just play this. Like it's just going to be the thing I play for 2 to 3 weeks, start to finish, and I'm going to try and just I will play every difficult, platformer out there and give it a try. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah. I normally gravitate towards the 2D versions of games like this, but there's no denying that everybody basically is saying this game is a must play. So I have to be a part of that must play team. So it's coming. I think it's going to be my Christmas gift to myself. Honestly, I feel like that's what it's going to end up being. So
yeah, no, I pretty much have the same to say about it. I love it. It is a great game. The last challenge level knocked it down a couple pegs for me because it was super frustrating and
came out of nowhere, humbled us all.
Oh my god, I think
I can't wait to do it in one shot.
Way.
Dude, I can't wait for you to do it in one shot and screen record it and give it.
I will
like, drop it in the Discord because I gotta see that.
Yeah, no, honestly, I hate that level so much. Like it is such a like
I'm so
detour
excited
from what I've come to expect from that game. Like it just came out of nowhere, and I hate those monkey paws so much. Like they're the worst power up in the entire game. I feel after playing that stupid level. Yep. So yeah, no, that alone just knocked it out of my top 5 because that ruined it for me. I was like, nope, I don't want to play this game. Or I platinumed it. I'm good. I have one Astrobot to find, but I'm not even gonna bother because it's in that stupid level. I'm not gonna do it. Nope, I refuse.
I love the levels with that monkey. Those monkey paws suck entire ass. I hate them so much.
Yeah, they're terrible. They work, but like in that level, it's too much. Like it's just too chaotic. And like there's ways you can bypass that. Like there is a setting I changed in the accessibility that automatically props you up, but like even that doesn't help me enough. So I'm like, no, I refuse to finish it properly. It's not worth it for me.
I have a question for the class.
Yes.
Since we're talking about this game, I was going to wait till later, but we're in the middle of it, so I got to ask. Now, I'm going to play it anyway, but the mechanics are obviously they sound like they're great. They're fantastic. Like that's the biggest reason to play it is because of that. But I don't have the same extended, long, deep love for the PlayStation properties. I know they're there, and there are some, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, cool, that. Hey, cool." But it's just gonna be a passing thing for me.
Right?
Is it gonna take away from my enjoyment in any way? It doesn't really matter.
Not take away, but I don't think you'll have the same excitement over certain things. Like I think
I know I won't. I know.
Yeah. So I think there are certain moments and certain parts, without spoiling anything, certain parts of the game that are for the 30 years of history of PlayStation. Whether or not that resonates with you might not be there the same way that it would be for other people. But that being said, I'm fairly confident you could get rid of all PlayStation stuff out of this game and it'd still be one of the best platformers you'll ever play.
That's awesome.
That's what I was going to say, is that I feel like the level design and everything that game does, if you strip out the PlayStation of it, the PlayStation moments were cool. Be like, oh, it's Ratchet. Ratchet's up in that tree.
Yeah.
And then you move on to the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the level design and the love that they put into it, PlayStation aside. The PlayStation is like the cherry on the top of the cake.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And even for me, someone who's, followed PlayStation, followed video games my entire life, there were characters that like popped up and I was like, I don't really know who you are. Moving on. And then 5 seconds later, I'd be like, oh my God, Spyro. And like, it's just, it comes at such a rapid clip. You're always moving towards that next thing.
I feel like I'll recognize every single one of them, but do I have like a deep love for I've been playing the PlayStation since the first one released. Like I had one, my friends had. Like, it's not like I haven't played it. I don't have the same nostalgia for PlayStation properties that I do for other franchises. That's all.
That's fair.
Anyways,
That's fair.
There's no Banjo, Dave. So I'm sorry. There's no Banjo.
I know.
There's no.
There probably never will be again. So
no.
I'm not going to hold my breath.
So the only thing that I feel like Astrobot should have done, and I've said this several times, is they should have added like a encyclopedia.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
You can click into it and
cool.
like, oh, and
just
it tells you what,
it
just tells you what they are, what game they're from, and like where you can play it. And like there's like even a clickable link that goes to the PlayStation Store. Like these are things that I feel like they could have done. They didn't do it.
Listen, if they had like a Smash Bros style encyclopedia where it's just like, this is the character, this is where they're from, I feel like it's such a massive missed opportunity, because even some of those I was looking at, I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Yep.
Damn. Okay, I got it. Okay, so I probably toot my horn a little too much then. There probably will be ones I recognize.
Go wave at your brother, Dave, okay?
I will. Yeah, I will.
Court, what's your number 2?
Wait. My number 2 is
Wait.
Helldivers 2.
What happened?
What? You can't hear me?
I not only didn't say my number 4, I said my number 3 before. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave.
Sorry, Dave.
Court has to run, and then we'll circle back to you. Is that okay?
But what Court just said is exactly what my next
perfect.
So
Look at that.
Court.
Look at that. Kismet.
My number 4 is your number 2?
2.
There we go. Yep. Go ahead.
Helldivers 2. Another game where I definitely did not, when everybody was talking about it, I'm like, this is not going to be a game for me. I told Matt, and then I started playing with Steve and Matt when we got codes, and I played it every night for like a month. Like, that game was way too much fun. Like, that was the reason I loved it so much. I haven't laughed playing a video game like that, I don't think, ever. Like, there was way too many times where, like, Matt would kill us while we're all about to go on the ship to get out of there. And I would die laughing about it. Like, it wasn't like you get frustrated when your teammate killed you, or when Steve would like drop bombs on you while you're trying to like go do something over in a corner. It was just fun. Like, everything about it. I thought the gameplay was great. I thought the mini story that's in there, it's not a big story, but the mini story in there is just great. I thought that the community that rallied around the game was fun to be a part of. The game was fun. Like, a lot of the things this year that I enjoyed about video games is they were just fun. And it's been a long time since I've had a lot of fun playing games.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like, it was the first like week, you guys and other people, like a couple of other friends of mine were like, oh man, this game is so fun. It's goofy fun. And I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, it's just shooty shoots and some bombs and so, all right, I'll give it a shot. And it's weird because it's one of those games where, Court, you just mentioned that you play it every night kind of thing. I just reinstalled it and started playing the new area and enemies and stuff. So I've done like a couple rounds and that's it. But as much action and bombastic as this is, it feels good to just like play a couple rounds and then go to bed. I don't know what it is. It's probably because it's so fun. It's because you're not digging into anything too deep, too serious. You know that if something weird happens, you're just going to chuckle through it. Yeah, it's nice to complete missions and stuff, but you know what? If it doesn't happen, you still had a good time, and the game is encouraging you, or encouraging the team to work together, which I think is part of the community part of it and why it really works. Everything you do, you're doing together. It is just strictly a co-op experience that if one person F's off for a little while, it's going to hurt the team and it's going to hurt you individually. So why not, work together and get it done, and maybe some goofy shit's going to happen in between, and that's fine.
Yeah,
and that's why it works. And I don't know, I just had it's such a good time. And I hadn't played this since May, I think, again, like before our son was born. I picked it up like 3-4 days ago after the Game Awards, and they had the announcement of the new content, and it is just as fun, and the new stuff is great so far. So
I think Helldivers 2 captures like the magic of like couch co-op that we grew up with. Like it captures that split screen multiplayer feel in a way, even online, in a way that I feel like games just haven't in a while. That chaotic ridiculousness that like you'd be up too late on a sleepover. It's like 2 a.m. trying to be careful, trying to be quiet while the parents are sleeping upstairs. Helldivers 2 nails that feeling in a way that I just feel like has been absent from the gaming landscape for too long. It's really good at what it does.
Yeah, and I think like what's hard to also pull off, which may or may not have been intentional, is that for the most part, I would say I played most of the hours of this game with just random parties, just joining random games and stuff like that, just because it's hard to coordinate with life and whatever. But like, I never needed to be on voice chat to get stuff done.
Sure. Yeah.
Ever. Like it's communicated in a way that's simple, that the team can work together while understanding what everyone's doing. And at the end of the day, like I said before, everyone does want to get the mission done. I've had like maybe a couple people in like the 60 hours, 70 hours put into this game that were like just grifting and just being assholes. That's it.
Yep.
That's after dozens and dozens and dozens of matches with random people.
Yep.
That's something you don't get too often.
Helldiver 2 is my number 2 as well. But before I get into mine, Court, do you have to run?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, boys.
All good, man.
Enjoy.
I'll text you all in the morning when I wake up.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I'll be up. Go for it, man.
Dave,
I'm up at 5 o'clock.
I already blocked your number. Your number's blocked already.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense now. All right.
All right. Good night. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Love you a long time.
Bye, Cart.
Helldivers 2, and man, this is one that I'm going to hold near and dear to my heart for so long, only because I called it. I called it months before. I was the one.
Remember that.
Yes,
yeah.
I remember. Matt and I were the ones. We're the ones on the soapbox saying, "Guys, listen to us. We know better than all of you. We know that Helldivers one
and also
is such a good
Helldivers
game."
looks good.
Yeah,
exactly.
I
remember us talking in January, being like, "Where is the hype for this game? It feels like nobody's talking about it." And like you and I both were like, "I hope it doesn't come out and die on the vine here because nobody's talking about this."
Yep.
And then it didn't.
And the thing is that I think in another universe, this game could have come out and it could have spoken to you and me and, fans of Helldivers and fans of this kind of game, and existed for 4 months. And we would have had fun with it. But I am so happy that it blew up in the way it did, because there were nights where Bobby's there, Dave's there's other friends within our circles. Like every night it was a different cast and crew of people dropping in and just having some of the most fun I think I've ever had in a video game. Like honestly, I put it this way, like reminds me of the Halo 2 days of being online and just being like, I'm just dropping in, I'm having fun like after school. And like it's just people dropping in, having fun, not being too competitive, not taking it too seriously, and just laughing the entire time. Like my chest hurts, there's tears coming from my eyes, my face hurts from laughing so much, and it's just I love this game for exactly what it was, and I'm kind of upset that other great games came out around the same time, because then it just pulled me away. And I just never got a chance to really go back to it and give it the time that it really deserves, because I want to invest so much more time into it. And now that this larger update is now here, and the holidays as well, I do definitely want to again get the old crew back together, dust off the suits and do some hell diving, because I love the satire, I love the inherent comedy, not only by the written portions, but just we're just having fun with the ragdoll physics. We're throwing like orbital missiles, and we're like, Matt, run! Oh my god!
Shit! By accident. Oh shit!
I'll never forget playing with you and Riley, Steve, and he was like, "Oh, my DoorDash is here. I'll be right back." And he dives into a ditch, and without even saying anything, Steve looked at each other. Steve and I looked at each other. We both battle back, and then both toss orbital strikes right where he was waiting for us. Then he comes back 2 minutes later.
It's like, oh, did I die?
And we're like. Nothing happened.
Nothing to see here.
No, it's just unabashed fun in the most accessible way possible, where you don't have to be skillful in video games. You don't have to have invested 100 hours to get better at this game. No, it's just about dropping in, having fun for a couple hours each night. And that's the progression, is how much fun can you have in this game.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
preach.
It's not on my list though either. That's a shame, but
It's such a good year though. Yeah,
it's a runner-up. No, it's had a good year.
Number 14 on my list.
It's like number 6 on my list, maybe 7.
such a good year. It's not even on my list. I hated it. Dave, your number 2.
My number 2. Okay, so my 1 and 2, I had a hard time picking where they would go.
Okay.
I flip-flopped today even, and was like, I don't know. I'm going to go back to what Court said a little while ago about how there was like fun in a lot of games this year that made it on the list. Pretty much everything I've talked about so far, Helldivers, Prince of Persia, Indiana Jones, are all sort of have that. Not that my number 2 isn't fun, but it is much more of an emotional experience, and that is Neva. Neva's at my number 2 on the list. It is a beautiful game. It plays fantastic. And I don't know, like it got me emotional. Like, honestly, at the end of the game, like even if it is a deep, long RPG that I am sunk into over the years, very rarely, very, very rarely am I shedding a tear when I'm playing a game. Yep. And this 100% did it for me. 100%. It tells a great sort of metaphor of connection with either you could see it as family members, you could see it as pets, but also the environment. Like, there's a lot of really great messaging here, just like it was for the studio's first game. And I just think it looks amazing. It plays great. It has cool ideas. It is not long. It's like 4 or 5 hours. I played it in 2 sittings and wanted more. But it tells a complete story, start to finish, and does it beautifully. And I think everyone should play this game. It is fantastic. Neva is just, like, honestly, just beautiful in every single way. I gave this game a 10 out of 10, and that's what it deserves. So
this is a game that I certainly want to get to eventually, because I've heard many great things about it. But again, it's just the fact of who's got the time.
Mm-hmm. For me, I'm waiting for a moment where I'm ready to be emotionally destroyed, because I feel like that's what this game is going to do.
Right.
And I'm just not there right now. But like when sad boy hours hit, I think Neva's going to be where I head next. It's just too pretty not to.
I played the whole thing on Steam Deck. I was sitting upstairs on the couch, and I mean, it still looks gorgeous on an OLED screen, regardless of where you play it. It's going to look great. The art style is fantastic. And I'm sitting there, and I get to the point that really hit me, and I was like, fuck. Like, I think I said out loud, I was playing it late after I put the kid down to bed at the time or whatever, and I was just like, maybe it's because I'm exhausted, but I think it's really just because they just told a damn great, emotional, full, complete story. And I don't know. It's really hard to talk about, because the more you dig into it, the more you start spoiling things, little things here and there. But it's got fun little puzzle elements. None of them are too deep and expansive. It's got decent combat, but it's not there to be a difficult combat game. It's not a Prince of Persia thing or anything. Like, it's there to expand on the ideas they did with their previous game, and it does it in a great way. Every single angle is an improvement over the last one, and I love it. Anyways, I can just keep saying I love it and it's emotional, but that's pretty much what Neva is for me.
That's it. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I mean, what else do you have to say about a game like this?
Just play it. Play it, people. Play it.
Just play it. And Bobby, I know that you teased it earlier, but tell us more about your number 2.
I didn't get my number 3 yet.
Yeah.
You did not? Oh my God.
I haven't done number 2 yet either.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I got so screwed up.
Suckers.
Yeah. Honestly.
Coming in, he ruins the flow of everything.
I'm sorry. We've been bouncing around a little bit. And Core threw me off there. No, I'm sorry. We'll go back to Matt. No, we'll go back to
Bobby
Matt.
First.
Okay.
Bobby first. He has to do number 3.
Yes. Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. We're all caught up now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Number 3 is Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
If you guys have not played it, it's kind of like Return of the Obra Dinn. It's a point and click puzzle adventure. It's from Simogo, who did Sayonara Wild Hearts. I don't know if you guys played that, but it is a basic mind-bending game. So it's basically like a point and click puzzle adventure. You wake up in this hotel. It's like a neo-noir story, and you wake up and basically you have to solve a bunch of puzzles through the hotel. So like you start at the front door and you have to solve a puzzle to get into the hotel. And then as you get through the hotel, there's different environmental puzzles that show up. So every room there's at least a handful of puzzles that you have to figure out. And it's one of those games where it doesn't hold your hand. So you have to basically have like a notepad with you and write down like clues of what you're doing. So if there's like a puzzle with numbers, you have to write down the numbers and remember them. And as you progress, like those numbers not only solve the puzzle in one room, but you might find them in another room later where you're like, what, these numbers look familiar. So like you'll have to backtrack and make sure they're the same numbers. And as you're doing that, like you can open up more environmental puzzles in other rooms with these numbers, or like an image that you find like in the library. And it's a brain teaser. Like it really is a game where you have to, pay attention. You have to, it's a slow burn, but like it's worth it because like it is testing your patience and how you approach, puzzle solving. It is like the ultimate puzzle room. Like you're going through all these different places and you're putting together the story of what's happening in this place and why you're there. And like it ends up being one of the best games I played this year. Like it is super, super daunting to play, but like once you finish it and the credits roll, it is like it's ultimately one of the best games this year. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this game. It looks incredible, and I'm so excited to never play it because I'm far too stupid for this game. It kind of reminds me of Tunic, because Tunic had the same thing, right? Like Tunic, you had to it was a callback to SNES, like Legend of Zelda, where you had the guidebook, and the guidebook had things you gotta write down. It's one of those games. It is one of those games, and like it is worth to play it because a lot of games are too simple these days, and it's just like a callback to times where games not necessarily they don't challenge you today, but they challenge you in a different way, and it's just like it is a game where you have to have the energy to sit down and play, because it is like ultimately a point and click adventure. It is ultimately a game where you have to use your brain. It's not a game you can just turn your brain off like a lot of shooters these days, and that's kind of what I feel like that I was missing this year. So if you want to play this, my recommendation is you can do Year Walk or Device 6. They're mobile games, but like they're so good. Like they're puzzle games, but they're so worth the time to invest in. And it just launched on PlayStation 5, I believe. I think our review just went up last week. But it's great. I feel like wholly recommend it. I give it a 9 out of 10. Like there's nothing really bad about it. Like, it is really, really good.
Bobby, you keep bringing games to me that I need to play. God damn it.
Yeah. I'm trying not to. I know, and I'm trying not to do the bigger ones, because honestly, we all have the same bigger games, so it's I had to really think about what I wanted to put in my top 5.
Sure.
But yeah, my last 2, I feel like they're probably going to be in line with maybe Steve. Because
Steve seems in trouble.
My next game is pretty much the best shooter this year, so we'll talk about that later.
We're talking about Helldivers. What?
Yeah.
That's not a shooter.
What are you talking about?
Matt, I believe we're going back to you, though, right?
That's a betrayal simulator.
Number 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
My number 2 is Metaphor Refantazio. I absolutely adored this game. I'm a massive Persona fan, so for them taking the Persona formula and taking it out of high school, bringing it to this medieval fantasy world rife with political intrigue and classism and racism and just this battle for the crown. It is absolutely incredible start to finish. And it seemingly looks and feels like Persona at first, and then very quickly veers off in a different territory. It takes a lot of those systems and evolves them meaningfully. It has an incredible job system that's super fluid, and you can literally make a tank healer if you want, or a DPS tank. There's so much cool stuff that you can do in that game with an incredible cast. The story's fantastic. The art style is beautiful. Even those transition scenes were more beautiful than most games this year, period. It's just incredible what they managed to do here. And I think I went into it with the obvious expectation that I knew that I was going to like it. I was surprised by how much I truly fell in love with it. And I can't wait for Persona 6. I can't wait for whatever sequel this may bring. I want them to continue doing this. Take this formula and adapt it in new places and new spaces across different genres. Metaphor Refantazio is fantastic. It's probably a top 5 for me of all time. It's easily the best RPG this year. Well, kind of. But there's one I love more, but this is probably the better one. But it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I wish I had more to say. I got nothing.
Just have Steve got nothing.
You have to play it.
I would love to. I would love to have 100 hours.
Dude, I did it in 60.
Yeah, you clear it. I think like 50 hours you can clear it if you mainline it.
Really?
Yeah, I did it in 60.
The key is to drop it to easy. Because honestly, on normal difficulty, it is very hard. Like even on normal, like you will get bodied very quickly by someone.
I mean, and like you guys have said, the story is really great. So it's kind of about going through the story as well. It's not just about the gameplay, right? Like that's almost not an afterthought.
The story, the character, the music, like all come together in a way that like no other game has this year. Like the battle theme is still one of the best themes.
Yep,
this day. And then you have like a lot of the sequential music where you're going through like the royal capital, and like the music is just it's perfect. Yeah,
plus it does fantastic.
Yeah,
and like the fast travel just works so well. Once you've been somewhere once, you can just bop right back over to it. Like
they figured out they perfected the Persona formula in this game. Like that's what it is.
Yep. While also just doing it entirely differently. It's so good. You can do it, Steve. 60 hours. That's nothing.
No,
I'll see.
Just drop it in the bucket.
Drop it to easy. Honestly, drop it to easy. It's your best thing you can do. You'll save yourself all the headaches because you're not playing it for the gameplay. For you, it's for more of the story, and you'll get the best of everything because like you'll feel overpowered and you'll have that click with the story pretty quickly once you drop it to easy. Like that's my recommendation.
Okay. Yeah. And Dave, you did your number 2, right? I'm trying to get back on track here. Okay, perfect. Now we're back to Bobby.
Yeah.
And that's number 1. It's perfect.
So like here's where I'm struggling right now. Do I I'm gonna go with Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Okay. Dang.
I like it.
Sorry,
bold.
Call of Duty is back in the big. No, it's number 2.
Oh, I thought you said 1.
Actually, no. Wait, what did I say? No. You
said Call of Duty.
I started with Paper Mario.
Yeah, you said Final Fantasy.
I only got one game, so that's more. I have 3. I still have 2 more games. So this is my.
I was going to say, I'm surprised Metaphor wasn't in your top 5.
He did say Metaphor was his second one earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, you said Metaphor and Final Fantasy were 1 and 2.
See what happens when like this is.
I know.
This is all
I blame Cord entirely.
Probably just sneaking in games.
I thought you said Final Fantasy was your 1 when you first.
Yeah,
he did, and then Metaphor was 2. So why don't you just fire? Yeah, I guess this is your number 3.
I'll go back to back.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so number 3 is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Honestly, Call of Duty's back in a big way this year. It is a head and shoulders above Modern Warfare 3 in every way. I feel like that game last year was just like a clusterfuck of just bad ideas, and like the story was just like I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like a huddled mess of just like set pieces that just didn't work. But Raven this year like ran with the ball, and they delivered like the best Call of Duty since I would say Black Ops 3, maybe even further back, Black Ops 2. The campaign is incredible. Like it is like pound for pound as good as Black Ops 1 and 2's campaign. Like those are 2 of my favorites of all time. It is up there with that level of like authenticity, performances, graphics, it's everything. And then you have like the multiplayer, which I know is hit and miss for some people, but the Omni movement has just reinvigorated the game to a new level. It really feels like this might be the best successor to Titanfall, just because it does something different that very few other games do. And Omni movement just does so much for the game. Like you can really, plan your attack. Like you can just, if you feel like you're going to get overwhelmed, you can dive out of a window and save yourself. And if you feel like you're, in a situation where you won't survive, like you can shoot backwards and survive anything that's coming at you, because people don't think in these games like they're just running and gunning. And I spent 148 hours playing Black Ops 6 since it came out, so that kind of tells you like I've spent a lot of time with this game. It's basically Max Payne multiplayer, and what more could you ask for? Like, it really is like the best combination of Modern Warfare shooting with the best of Sledgehammer and Raven's Black Ops series. So like it is like the ultimate Call of Duty game. It feels like it's like a brand new series all over again, just because of all the stuff they've done this year. And shout out to Steve Saylor, because he did a really good job with his accessibility stuff this year. Like, I've been using some of it, and like it does make the game more accessible in a lot of ways. So like, I mean, if you're looking at a way to play Call of Duty and you're not up to snuff, or you don't feel like your skills are there, like the accessibility stuff is so worth using, because like you can use like stuff to ping, you can use stuff to color coordinate enemies and stuff. Like it's great. And yeah, I mean, really, it's I correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's on it is on Game Pass, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you have no excuse not to play it. It's on Game Pass. It is the first Call of Duty on Game Pass, I believe. So yeah, like really, it is so good. And your subscriber, it's free to you. But yeah, go play it. Like, honestly, I've spent so much time with it. Going to Nuketown every day. I go to Nuketown daily.
Amazing.
And
yeah. Please continue.
The maps are incredible. I feel like these are the best maps in years. I feel I like the 3-lane highways in a lot of these. I think Scud is a great map. I feel like it is probably my favorite. I love the new the categories for like the enforcer, the recon, the strategist, and I love all the ways you can mix and match all these things to customize a play style for you, so you can have all these different perks that do stuff. And I love the score streak more than the kill streaks. I feel like that's always been my preference, because like sometimes you're not going to get 12 to 15 kills. You're going to get like 4 or 5, but the way you do it is what's more important, right? You can use like your C4 and you can blow up people and get more points. And like, I love that fact that it's back, because that was always my preference. But yeah, number 3 is Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Amazing. And then Metaphor for your number 2.
Metaphor Refantazio. There's not much else I need to say about it. Matt basically knocked it out of the park. It is unlike any RPG that Alice has ever put out. I feel like it is a new standard for JRPGs, and I feel like if Square Enix looks to what Atlas did, they could probably get Final Fantasy back on track, because it just showcases that turn-based is not dead. Like, Atlas knows what works and what doesn't, and they've proven in this game and with Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, that these games are still worthwhile investing in. Last year's FF16 was like, it was good, it was great, but I mean, it was a Devil May Cry game, and I feel like that series has lost its way up until this year, where they what they did with FF7 Rebirth. So like, I feel like there's still like a market for turn-based games, and Metaphor Refantazio shows that with the right people, anything can work, right? So yeah, I mean, number 2, Metaphor Refantazio. It is honestly one of the best games I played this year, one of the best JRPGs I've played in the last 10-15 years, easily, by far. Like it's perfect in every way.
Fantastic.
I can say about it.
And at long last, our number 1 picks. And Matt, I want you to go first. Hit me.
My number 1 game, my game of the year for the year of the Lord 2024, is Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. I absolutely adored this game. I do think there are better RPGs, but for me, the ride that I've been on with the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series over the last for the last number of years, having Kiryu back, having him right alongside Ichiban, Kiryu's arc, dealing with cancer and dealing with his mortality, for a dude that's like literally fought tigers and like defeated like quite literally hundreds of thousands of people, to be going up against the problem that he can't just fight his way through. On top of like the incredible way that they take the series out of Hawaii for the first out of Japan for the first time, bringing us to Hawaii. there is so much in those games, from like the Pokemon like monster catching stuff to an Animal Crossing like island management system to just so much more. There's constantly something to do, somewhere to go, a character to hang out with. There is so much love in this game. RGG is probably one of the best, if not the best, developer out there right now, and they get away with meaningful asset reuse, which is why, like, in the last calendar year, we would have had Pirate Yakuza is coming out in February. We have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. We had the Ishin remake. They are at a constant clip of quality, and that's the kind of incredible thing here. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth takes turn-based combat and makes it fun. Like, I love turn-based combat, but this is such an accessible way to get in here, to take everything that's good about JRPGs and distill them in a way that is easy to understand while there also still being a ton of depth to it. It's just so unbelievably special. Like, and if this is Kiryu's last ride, then like, what a way to go out. It's fantastic front to back. I love this game so much. And like I said, I really struggled with my top 3 and kind of ordering them, but at the end of the day, Like a Dragon and Yakuza just have such a special place in my heart, and I couldn't not give Infinite Wealth my top spot.
Amazing. Love to hear it. Dave, how about yourself?
Okay, so last year, I think I had indie games from top to bottom on my list. Didn't quite happen this year, but that's okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But I am now going back to back on indie games for what my number 1 is. I have been singing the praises of this game since I played it, and I don't think many people have played it, and I think it is a must play. It is a mix between twin stick shooters and Zelda games. It's Minishoot Adventures. It is a very like gotcha mobile game title, but I swear to you, this is the most fun, unless you count, the times in Helldivers. This is the most fun that I've had playing a game. I could not stop playing it. The art style is cartoony and fun. The gameplay is so tight, and it has to be, because it's very like bullet hell a lot of the times, especially on big, huge boss battles and stuff. You are essentially a little ship. It could be a person, or they just choose to make it about, a ship and mechanical things and whatever. Your sort of village and family is scattered across this huge map. You have to find them. You have to find a way to topple the enemies that have created a darkness in the world, and you have to dive through dungeons in order to acquire new powers and upgrades. There's so much great about this game. It is it had like the perfect difficulty scale as well. Like, it starts pretty simple. You kind of get used to the mechanics, and the boss battles and discovery and puzzles aren't too bad. And then the more abilities you have, the more you find new ways to use them. And it has that classic Zelda-like and Metroidvania type stuff where you just go back to other areas when you get your new abilities, or your skills are a little bit higher, or different weapons that'll get you past certain bosses and enemies. And it's just like, I wanted to uncover everything in this game from start to finish. It's just drew me in. There's very little dialogue. There's very little sort of explanation of what's going on, but you still follow along and want to help this little spaceship find his little family and rebuild his village and get new abilities and everything. I just think that this is one of the most like joyful games, while also having a very pretty poignant skill base. Like, it looks like it's probably simple on the surface, but it takes some skill to get through some of these areas. And it doesn't punish you too much too. Like, if you're in an area where you fall off, ledge, or the boss beats you, boom, you start right where you were. It's not some checkpoint that's 10 minutes behind you. You can change all of your passive abilities that you get and upgrades that you get on the fly. Like, literally in the middle of a fight, you can pause and be like, ooh, actually, I think I need more power in my gun. Oh, I think I need a little bit more speed for this particular boss. Do it right in the middle of what you beat phase 1 of the boss, and you just got by in the skin of your teeth. On the second phase, if it feels like that one's not working, pause the game and just switch things up a little bit. Little things like that make the sort of quality of life choices and stuff make the game even more fun and accessible in a lot of ways. And there's multiple endings in it as well if you uncover certain secrets, which is really fun. There's sort of like this like hidden like love story in it almost. It's so great. I absolutely love Minishoot Adventures. I think like it's going to be another one of those games that, and similar to Prince of Persia, I think it's one of those games I'm going to keep handy and be like, I just feel like playing this game this week. I'm going to play this. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I think I played it for about 10-ish hours, maybe 12. And that's because I did almost everything in it. Like I made sure that I uncovered the entire map. I probably got 90% of the unlocks and secrets and stuff in it. I just had such a blast with it, and I've been trying to tell as many people as possible to play this. So this is yet another way to do that. Minishoot Adventures. This and Neva could switch spots, but I think both are absolutely must plays. So
love that. Bobby, we already know, but go off, King.
Is anyone going to play me on? Is anyone going to play the theme song for me? Nothing. No?
I'm sorry, I didn't record the intro to Concord when I played it that one time.
Imagine.
We don't know what Steve's number one is, so the ultimate swerve can be coming.
Well, I mean, he played more Concord than anybody else, even the developers. So, like, yeah, I mean,
hey,
I'll take you all on.
Will you? I don't know. You can't though. You can't. That's the problem.
That is true. That is true. All I have is the secret level episode. That's all I got in my name now.
I would have liked.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Nobody wanted to give us the controller.
That's soon. Yeah.
So today. Secret levels of today. My number one is FF7 Rebirth, and surprise, right? No, it's been a big year for Final Fantasy VII fans. It is unequivocally one of my favorite games. I have loved this game for almost 30 years at this point. What is to be said? I mean, let's just start with this. Go check out my review. Start with that, but why I love this game is that it finally shows the potential of what this remake should have been from the beginning. But I understand why they had to build up to where they needed to get with remake. Finally, we get the open world, and the open world is one of the most iconic in video games. Like if you've played the original, there's just so many memorable locations and people you meet, and things to do, and all the mini games in the original were beautifully brought into the 3D playing with so much to do. I love this game. Like there's nothing I don't hate about it. Like there's so many good things about it. Like the characters are beautiful. The story's great. I feel like every actor nailed their character. Like that's the biggest thing I was worried about with remake, and I feel in Rebirth, like everyone from Cloud to Tifa to Barret to Aerith, like these are the characters. Like their actors know who these characters are through and through, and you get some of the best performances in all the video games this year. Like I will go to bat for these actors. Like they outperformed everybody, even Metaphors. As great as the actors in Metaphor are, Cloud, Aerith, and Barret are three of the strongest characters this year. And then you have Queen's Blood. Queen's Blood is one of the most addicting card games I've ever played in my life. And Matt, I know you will agree with me on that, because Queen's Blood is the new Go Fish for me. Like I love Go Fish, and Go Fish was my go-to.
Queen's Blood does something where like I feel like the last major one was Gwent with The Witcher, where like everybody was obsessed with it. And like Gwent eases you into the experience and kind of goes. Queen's Blood kicks you in the teeth right from the jump, and then makes you get good at it. And when that switch flips, you're like, I need to beat everybody in Queen's Blood. I will make all of you my bitch, and it does. Feeling that it made that's so good.
Yeah, like it does something. It just does something to you. Like I every Final Fantasy that had a card game, I feel like I bonded with that game, because card games are the way to win me over. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, Gwent never stuck with me. I think I hated Gwent more than any mini game out there. I just never got it. I never understood it. Never cared to learn it. Queen's Blood, like you learn it in calm, and then as you go from town to town, you pick up cards, you battle people, and you want to, because like the storyline is actually really cool. Like you learn that these cards are not only cards, like there's something going on, like there's something mysterious happening in the background as you're playing this game. Like you're learning about like I think her name's like the Queen of Cards or something, and she's capturing these people's essence in the cards, and you're trying to figure out what's going on with it. And that's a cool storyline, but then you get stuff like the stuff with Gilgamesh. Like there's just so many cool things that this game does. Like it all comes to a head towards the end, and like it's a perfect game to me. Like the only thing I didn't like about FF7 Rebirth is that, you know, we were always teased that, you know, the unknown journey will continue, and I feel like there was just a lot of kickback from fans in FF7 Remake that promise never came to fruition. So like it wasn't as out there as we were expecting. Like I figured that, you know, spoilers for the first game, like you beat Fate in the first game, and like that breaks the chains that, you know, it's old JR, it's Japanese RPG stuff. Like you fight gods and like you beat them, and then, you know, you become, you know, the ruler of your own fate, but that never really comes to fruition. Everything kind of goes, you know, word for word with the original. Like everything kind of still happens the way it was intended, with the exception of a couple storylines that I don't know what they're doing with Zach and stuff. But like ultimately, like it's a great game. Like the music alone, it won at the Game Awards. It is almost, like I said, it's almost a perfect game, except for the things that I feel like the developers need to look back on. The third game is just, you know, improve the story, you know, really hone in on what you're trying to sell, what your message is. Because if you're saying, you know, it's going to be a follow-up to FF7, like make it a follow-up instead of you know, a polygon for polygon remake. And that's what I feel like they did in this game. They toned down the expectations for a lot of people, and it didn't work for me, at least.
I agree. I was a little disappointed by the story in this one, but that being said, I still really enjoyed it. I mean, aside from some performance issues I had with the game, the fact that it just didn't run at 60, even relatively.
I mean, yeah. To be fair, I mean, for what it was, like there was a lot of game packed into this thing.
Oh my god, of course.
So like I kind of understand why they had to dial it back, but like the PS5 Pro patch did a really good upresing. Like it feels like it finally is where it needs to be. I'm looking forward to the PC port next month, because like I feel like that's probably going to be like the true test of what this game's going to look like. But yeah, it's the small things. Like it didn't perform as bad as some people said. For me, like I had very few issues with that. It was just blurry and low res textures that really kind of did a number for me, and that's where I was just like,
yeah. But otherwise, I mean, like the gameplay itself is just phenomenal.
It's incredible.
Like the best I think Final Fantasy has ever been, in my opinion.
And that's the thing. Like it salvaged the damage F16 did, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. I feel like they pivoted too far with F16 to Devil May Cry, and like that's not what Final Fantasy is. Like it's always been, you know, characters with a party and you know, magic and all that, and like that's all there, but like you're controlling one character. Like I don't want to control one character. I want to have access to an entire party and have, you know, people to talk with. Like FF16 was so dire and it was so dark and it was too Game of Thronesy, and like at that point I've been over Game of Thrones for like 7-8 years now, so it's like I didn't really resonate with it as much as I wanted to, and like that's not a knock against it. I still think Clive is a great character, but Cody Christian's performance as Cloud was like top tier. Like there's no better character in games this year. Like he really set the precedent of what Cloud is, and like he nailed it. Like he knows, like he figured out Cloud's persona.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Go play it. It's on sale right now.
Steve, can you please grace us with your game of the year?
Yeah, I'm going to shock you all. None of you guys will see this. It's a game I've never spoken about in my life. Never.
Hold on. Can we take guesses?
Yeah.
Around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Guesses or
oh man.
Go ahead.
Silent Hill 2.
Oh, so close.
Okay. Bobby.
Dave?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that wacky card game called Balatro.
So close.
No, not that one.
Balatro.
That's not it. Steve hated that game.
Yeah, I've never spoken highly about that game at all.
That's why it was just a total guess. Shot in the dark.
Yeah. No, it's Balatro. It always has been, always will be. Even Astrobot came so close to kicking it from the #1 spot, but No, I've had an absolute blast with this game. I think, I mean, I could give Local Thunk all his flowers just for being one person and creating a game that, for
That's
all
true.
intents and purposes, I've never played in my life before. I mean, we're talking about so many great games throughout this list, whether we're talking about the smaller ones like, like relatively smaller, like, Prince of Persia or Astrobot, Final Fantasy, any Call of Duty, any of these games. I've played them all. I've gone through these gameplay experiences before. Balatro, like the first time I booted it up, I was like, I don't really like poker and I don't really like roguelites all that much. I mean, like hit and miss for me. It's not a genre I inherently just flock to, but I'll give it the shot. It's a shot. And I mean, now I'm 120 hours split between console and my phone.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That's insane.
I'm Balatro brained. It's sickness up here. Jimbo's up here, man.
I have a little thing to interject, and I'm gonna
Please.
show how the cheese was made. Back in June, I saw Steve make a deal with Steve. Do you remember what happened at the airport? You guys exchanged, you shook hands with Woot, and then you said, I'm gonna whore myself out for Balatro. And it happened. We were coming back from SGF, and all I saw was they exchanged hands.
Yep.
You him a card, and now look at Balatro won game of the year.
It
didn't.
It didn't win Game of the Year, no.
Indie the game. I think it was an indie game.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, you know what? It's a great game. I appreciate that you love it and you've been championing it from day one. And I know I got it because of you, and I have it on console and PC and my phone. So now I'm playing it as often as I can.
It's unhealthy when you can have it everywhere. Because it is one of those games where as soon as you pick up on the nuances of the gameplay loop, it all starts making a lot of sense. I do think that the onboarding experience of this game is kind of tough. Like you do have to wrap your mind around like, oh, you're not only playing poker hands and that, but you're also trying to invest in the store, pick up different jokers, learn the meta, unlock new jokers, figure out like the little nuances where it's like, okay, if I put all the addition jokers up front, those are going to activate first, and then the multiplier jokers in the back half just to maximize your score every single time. There's little things that just go a long way for this game, and once you start understanding them all, every single run, whether or not you're winning or losing, just feel really rewarding when you hit big and you start to see like the numbers just constantly do, and you hear like the sound effects to it. This game has great audio too. It's just a really great experience. And the other thing I'll say is that playing it on mobile, it's one of the coolest, like most satisfying haptic experiences, like to the point where I'm almost like, this rivals the dual sense of like moving the cards in certain ways, like the physical like haptic response. And I'm playing it on iPhone, but just the little nuances there. I'm just like, wow, they've really thought of everything for this one little game. And the fact that it was made by one person, still don't know. He was there. He was in the room. I breathed the same air as Local Thunk. Don't know who he is, though. I was doing some investigative journalism.
I absolutely love that.
Also Canadian.
Also a Canadian. But yeah, I love the idea that this man could go out, make a game, put it on, like get it all on every service, Apple Arcade, stuff like that, get millions of people to pay for this game. It's not even just, Apple Arcade subscriptions for the user base and stuff like that, but get people to pay a premium for this game. And we still don't know who he is. Like he could just walk off into the sunset, live off that money, and no one would know. Like no one would know his name. No one would know who he looks like. He doesn't even have to do a follow-up to this. He could just sit on what is one of the coolest gaming experiences. Hell, he got crossovers with Cyberpunk. Like,
and also just like the fact that he's doing so many crossovers with smaller indie games like Thousand Exorcist. Like there's so many cool ways that he's not even just spotlighting his own game. He's also being like, look at the industry, and here are so many other games that you could also check out. Here's some work that we're doing with them. It's just so cool.
And the other thing, this is, outside of why I like the game itself, but I mean, like what he's doing with the PEGI 18 system right now, being an advocate for like, yo, fuck EA and all these microtransactions. This is not only like affecting kids, but it's also affecting other developers like himself, where his game, like Balatro, got pulled from certain storefronts because they just assumed, oh well, it's a card game, poker game, it's got to have gambling in it. That's it. So I love the fact that this one dude, he made all the success, he's made a big name for himself, and now he's going to take a stance against, bigger corporations that are affecting the video game industry. So from an advocate standpoint, I really respect that. But Balatro is my number one. I know it didn't win large at the Game Awards, but I mean, I obviously understand why Astrobot won. But for me, it's just Balatro has been a game I've never played before, and I doubt I ever will play another game like Balatro, at least not one that's earnestly trying to do something. I'm sure copycats will try to come out and be like, here, we're
Balatro.
Yeah, or whatever, but I'm really thankful that games like this can exist, find an audience, and be as successful as Balatro was this year.
Let me ask you this, Steve. If you had to give each one of us a Joker, which Joker is each one? Is each one of us on the panel?
Oh my God, I'm rusty on the names right now because it's been about like a month and a half since I played. But
fake fan.
I know,
right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I can't even choose.
I played it 2 days ago, and it's
and tell me
number one. Come on,
and
I don't know. I don't know any of the names.
I don't know. I know Gros Miquel. That's my favorite one.
Okay.
Which is what?
It's the one that gives like an insane multiplier, but it has like a 1 out of 5 chance to just evaporate after a run.
Is that the banana?
The banana, yeah, the best one. Every time I get Gros Miquel, it just makes me feel really good because I know it's going to be a good run. It's going to be a good run. Just like this whole episode was. This was a great run. This was a great run to end off the season, end off the year. Thank you all for tuning in, watching, and thank you for the lovely panel here for going through your favorite games of the year. As we close out the episode, Matt, start us off. Where can people find you? Where can people listen to you? When are you guys coming back next year? PlayStation Generation. When's the grand return?
Yeah, well, thanks, Steve, for hosting one hell of an episode. It was one fantastic ride. The PlayStation Generation Creature Cast crossovers are always a blast. You can find me over here, obviously, and Matt Silversoul on Bluesky and that other site. And then, we'll be back with PlayStation Generation on January the 5th. That first Sunday back, we will be back rip-roaring and in top form and having fun. Come hang out with us live at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. We'll be there then.
Amazing. Dave, how about yourself?
Dave Petro, pretty much just on the Bluesky site at this point is where you can find me. And I'm going to be catching up on some backlog games over the holidays. Excited to talk about them when the year spins around again. And that's pretty much it. Just sort of living life over the next few weeks. But great to be back a little bit more regularly and talk to you guys seriously. I needed this, guys. I needed this.
We're here for you. We're here for you. Bobby, how about yourself?
You can find all of us on consolecreatures.com. You can find me on Bluesky, bpashalitis, Instagram, Threads, I guess. I don't know who's using Threads anymore. YouTube, Spotify, you'll find us. consolecreatures.com, where everything is there. All our links are there.
Steve, where can people find you?
Me. Me. You can find me all across the internet at the JW. No, at Steve or S Vigvari. And I'm looking forward to a fruitful holiday break, and then coming back strong next year with a whole year's worth of talking about new games, which will be a lot of fun with all of you.
So excited for new stuff.
New games.
I can't wait to find what my number one is when I didn't even know that a game existed until I had it in my Steam library. I can't.
Monster Hunter Wilds. Lock it in.
That's often my top 2 and 3 are games I didn't even know existed until I started playing them, and I love that. Mm-hmm. And next year could be that year again. And discovering new stuff is the best part. So new year, bring it on. That's all I gotta say.
Hell yeah.
New year, new Dave.
Yeah. New year, new Dave. Yeah. And thank you all. Happy holidays. Have a great new year. And we'll see you all next year in grand 2025. But until then, we'll see ya. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.